A 150-meter longline vessel heads out before sunrise, bound for cold North Atlantic grounds where giant bluefin roam. Once clear of land, steel, fuel, and men commit fully to deep water and migratory giants. On deck, industrial longline gear shows this is commercial work, not a sport trip with rods and cameras.
Heavy circle hooks hang ready, sized for the massive jaws and bone of full-grown bluefin tuna. Every crimp and swivel is checked by hand. A weak link here could cost hundreds of kilos of tuna. Tubs of oily bait sit on deck, stinking by design, meant to call in predators from midwater highways.
In the wheelhouse, the captain tracks temperature lines where bluefin rise from depth to intercept prey. This gear is built for blue water. Hooks will hang far below the chop, drifting where tuna actually travel. Bait is rigged carefully on each circle hook, designed to roll into the jaw hinge instead of tearing free.
The first weight and float vanish, fixing a starting point for kilometers of baited steel.
The main line feeds aft, dropping hooks in a staggered pattern along invisible depth contours. Soon, a dotted line of floats marks the gear, each one hiding dozens of hooks tens of meters below.
Before the soak, the captain reviews exactly how giant bluefin run, turn, and test a long line.
With the final float set, the engines fall quiet, and the crew begins the long wait over their gear.
Below deck, coffee and small talk fill time while baited hooks drift silently far beneath.
Sleep comes in short stretches, broken by checks on wind, drift, and float positions. From above, the vessel looks idle, but below it, the entire set is alive with scent and possibility. Each float marks a vertical highway, from empty-looking surface to dark water where bluefin may be cruising.
Far below, suspended baits hang in blue water as heavy, torpedo-shaped shadows slide in from the dark.
One giant bluefin circles, metallic blue back and silvery flanks flashing as it sizes up the hanging bait. In a single surge, the bait disappears, and the circle hook locks neatly into the corner of its jaw. The tuna banks hard and drives away, loading the branch line with the full power of its tail. Up close, the hook sits exactly where designers intended, dug into bone rather than tearing soft tissue. Along the set, only one section tightens, a single tuna turning part of the line into a live wire.
Others cruise nearby, ignoring the hardware, while one hooked fish begins to feel tension from above.
Gradually, the tuna angles upward, towing float and mainline in a slow, powerful climb.
From behind, its crescent tail sculls steadily, turning stored muscle into forward drive against the line.
Farther along the set, another bluefin tests a hanging bait, its thick shoulders and depth hinting at heavy weight.
A second bait vanishes into another mouth, turning one hookup into two on the same long line. Now two bluefin pull against the gear, bending the main line into a slow, shifting arc. Head shakes do nothing. The hook stays locked in bone, transmitting every move up the line.
Both fish tilt toward light, towing floats upward and tightening the system against surface hardware.
As the line angle steepens, the sprint phase begins, when bluefin often gain speed before they fade. The first tuna pushes hard, its thick body flexing like a spring wound tight against the branch line. Below it, the second fish crosses under the main line, adding angles and tension the crew will later feel.
Near the surface, their shapes sharpen, thick, muscular tuna, built for long migrations and sudden acceleration.
One rolls slightly, showing a wide silver flank as it leans against the pull.
The circle hook sits perfectly, converting the tuna's power into steady, manageable pressure.
Below, the second fish drives upward as well, adding its weight to the strain on the main line.
Just under the chop, both tuna now push at the underside of the only surface that can relieve the pressure.
At the surface, one float comes alive, knifing sideways and telegraphing a heavy fish below. Soon, several floats track under strain, forcing the captain to nurse the hull along the loaded gear.
On deck, crew call out float numbers and angles, trying to read the pattern of the fight below.
The hauler slows under load, transferring the fight from open water to the rail. At water level, the float cluster churns, pointing straight down at a tuna digging in below. Men snap into harness points and prepare to grab the leader when it reaches the rail. Below the chop, a thick, barrel-bodied tuna appears, tail beating hard against the pull. In a burst of speed, the bluefin lunges partly clear, throwing spray and line in every direction. It slams back down, tail hammering the surface while the leader stays tight from the corner of its jaw. At the controls, one man trades brute force for a slow grind, trying not to straighten hardware or rip flesh.
It digs in behind the stern, turning the wake into a boiling trail of white water and foam.
Farther along, the second fish rolls near the surface, showing its depth and girth before disappearing again.
Two float clusters pull apart, forcing the captain to choose which battle to close with first.
The call goes out to work the nearer fish first, hoping to land one heavyweight cleanly before the other lines tangle.
Get that line in, he's close.
At the rail, the tuna begins tight circles, classic behavior as exhaustion starts to win out over adrenaline. One last, lower jump throws its bulk free of the water, more defiance than serious escape attempt now. Hands close on the leader, shifting the fight from hydraulics to human backs and shoulders.
Looking straight down, the fish fills the frame, its depth and width obvious even in the water.
A broad strap slides under the fish, spreading weight to protect both meat quality and hardware.
The crane takes the load, raising hundreds of kilos of bluefin from Atlantic swells toward wet steel deck. Suspended over the deck, the tuna finally stops driving, its mass obvious against men and machinery.
Lower it slowly, slowly. Grab the fins, hold it steady.
A hookout tool backs the circle hook from bone, ending the mechanical connection between fish and gear. While one fish lies on deck, the second still churns the surface, driving hard against the float cluster.
Exhausted, the second tuna settles into surface circles, shoulder-deep body carving slow loops beside the hull.
Hauling continues, empty hooks piling up while the gauge spikes in time with the second fish's runs. When it finally comes close, the second bluefin shows the slow, heavy movements of a tired heavyweight.
At the rail, gloved hands take the leader, feeling every last surge along the line.
One last surge shakes the strap and spray, more habit than real hope of escape.
Two bluefin now lie on deck, thick bodies making even industrial gear seem small.
Up close, the fish shows true bluefin lines, barrel body, thick shoulders, and no bill or shark's profile.
A tape stretches along its flank, converting raw muscle into meters and kilograms for the logbook.
3.2 meters, estimated 450 kilos.
The crane lifts again, swinging the first tuna toward the open hatch and a bed of crushed ice below. Below deck, the tuna settles into its own furrow of ice, the first heavy body in a growing row. Shovels bury the flank and tail, locking in temperature for the long run back to port.
From above, the second fish fills the frame, dwarfing the men who wrestled it aboard.
Moments later, a second bluefin joins the first, lining up along the cold steel bulkhead.
As more sets pay off, the hold becomes a bluefin-only story, each carcass placed for even chilling and counting.
With gear aboard and fish on ice, the bow finally swings back toward land. Men rinse salt and slime from drums, checking lines scarred by tuna runs and midwater debris.
Below decks, talk turns to weights, prices, and where the next set might find even bigger fish.
In the hold, thick bluefin bodies lie still, each one a compressed story of currents, migrations, and risk.
The long ride-in begins, steel hull driving hard over waves while chilled cargo rests below.
After hours of steaming, a faint coastline appears, promising fuel, rest, and the rush of unloading. At dockside, one fish comes up again, its bulk still impressive under calm harbor skies. The bluefin boat slides into its berth, another industrial hull lining up with concrete and cranes.
Dock crews peer into the hold, seeing rows of thick bluefin backs half buried in frost. One by one, the big fish rise again, now headed for scales and knives instead of open water. Cranes swing pallets from steel deck to concrete, handing the catch over to dock crews and forklifts. Labels and tags leave no doubt these pallets hold Atlantic bluefin, not generic mixed species.
That one is exactly 90 inches. The condition is excellent.
90 inches, grade 2+. Noted. Let's check the next one.
Inside the plant, whole bluefin arrive on steel rails, moving from dock roomer to controlled fluorescent light.
Heads and tails come off first, stacked separately while thick bodies move down the line for breakdown.
Loins reveal dense, ruby-red flesh streaked with fat, unmistakably bluefin, and nothing like whitefish or salmon. Trimmers divide lean and fatty sections, each destined for different markets and price brackets.
Blocks pile up on trays, each one a tight brick of deep red tuna lined with bright fat. Vacuum bags show dark red meat inside, labeled clearly with species name, area, and a traceable code. Pallets roll into a reefer trailer, handing bluefin from processors to the next link in the cold chain. At a city hub, bluefin cartons occupy their own zone, logged and tracked alongside dozens of other species.
From the warehouse, select cartons peel off toward restaurants, where bluefin appears as small, precise portions.
In the kitchen, a chef inspects a deep red block, seeing the density and fat balance demanded for sashimi.
Thin slices fall away from the knife, each one a balance of ruby meat and pale fat.
Laid out on simple plates, the slices look almost like gemstones, more color than cooked texture.
Another cut hits the pan, seared outside while the center stays rich, red, and almost raw.
Seared slices show a gradient from browned edge to bright, translucent center, unmistakably tuna.
At the table, chopsticks lift small pieces of bluefin miles and worlds away from Longline decks.
Conversation rises as seared tuna and sashimi become just another course in a long evening.
In the kitchen, the night ends with inventory counts and a walk-in door closing on remaining portions.
The dining room returns to quiet, its link to long lines and weather hidden behind clean tablecloths. Back at the quay, the bluefin boat rests, its decks washed and its hold emptied of fresh catch.
The harbor glows under sodium lamps, hulls lined along concrete like tools, waiting for the next job.
Beyond the breakwater, the ocean looks empty, hiding everything that still swims beneath.
Far offshore, there is no sign of floats or steel, only moving water over deep pelagic roots.
In the depths, nothing breaks the blue, even though bluefin still move here beyond human sight.
Small swells roll steadily on, indifferent to which predators were taken and which remain.
At the horizon, sea and sky meet in silence, framing migrations we rarely see directly. For now, the hunt for giant bluefin ends here, but the ocean and its unseen currents keep moving without us.